Craving something spicy and satisfying? Well, stick around because today we're making a buffalo chicken wrap that's got all the flavor and heat that you love wrapped up in one quick and easy meal. We'll pair that tangy buffalo sauce up with a creamy, fresh ranch dressing and a little crumbled blue cheese for that extra kick. It's simple, it's delicious, it's easy, and it's ready in no time. For the full ingredient list, check the description box below. But enough talking, let's get cooking. Anytime I make anything buffalo, I always struggle. Should I go blue cheese? Should I go ranch? So what I'm gonna do with this recipe is we're gonna make a ranch sauce and we're gonna put crumbled blue cheese on top inside the wrap. So we're scratching both itches. So, you know, you don't have to choose blue cheese or ranch. You can always go ranchy blue cheese. The whole energy behind this is that it's a little healthier. So we're gonna go with a base of some 0% Greek yogurt for the base of this ranch dressing. We're also gonna put a little mayo. So mayo's got a decent amount of calories in it, but the Greek yogurt doesn't, and it's got some protein in there. So it's gonna help cut the negative effects of this delicious mayonnaise. And I like to use avocado oil mayonnaise. My preference is avoiding seed oils, but you use whatever mayonnaise you'd like to use. So now we're gonna use a combination of some fresh and dried herbs. I find that some of the dried herbs like this dill and this parsley work out really well when they're dried. The fresh ones just don't give the same flavor that I want to for the sauce. So let's put in a little bit of this dried dill and some dried parsley. Don't get me wrong, you can totally use the fresh stuff. I just find that the dried gives me the flavor of the ranch that I'm looking for. The one thing I don't like dried is the chives. We're gonna put some fresh ones in there. So we're gonna try to cut these nice and fine. Now we're gonna add some of my base seasoning. This is a blend of garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. One of the most multi-purpose spice blends in the universe. For some acidity, we're gonna put in the juice from half of a lemon. Now let's give this a mix. I didn't forget, but we're gonna add one more thing. Now I'm looking at this, I really wanna enhance the flavor of it. I love throwing Dijon mustard in sauces like this. So we're gonna put in a little bit of Dijon mustard. Now you could totally use some bottled ranch dressing, but I mean, this is so easy. I have this stuff on hand at all times, and I find that when I make it fresh, it just tastes so much better. So let's set aside this sauce in the fridge and let's get to our chicken. We're gonna be shredding the chicken, so we don't need to do much prep to the chicken, but I'm gonna do one thing that I really like to do when I am shredding chicken that helps it cook a little faster. So I'm just gonna check for any bones before I cut them. We're gonna leave everything just as is. And as I say that, I find a little bone fragment in there. We're gonna take the chicken and we're gonna score the top of it. So I'm just gonna drag my knife along the top and cut into it. Not all the way, but just a little bit to open it up so it's not as thick. And I'm gonna do this one way and then the other way so we get this nice cross hatch on the chicken. This is gonna allow our spices to marinate right into the chicken. It's also gonna allow the chicken to cook a little faster in the air fryer. Did I mention we're gonna do this in the air fryer? We're gonna do this in the air fryer. So now to season this chicken, we're gonna put a little olive oil right on the top. It's gonna help the spices blend. And also, chicken breast is very lean. It doesn't have any fat to render off, so it needs a little oil in order for it to cook and not burn. Now we're gonna sprinkle on some of my base seasoning. And we're also gonna throw in some smoked paprika. We're gonna give this a mix. So this is the tray that goes inside my air fryer, and I got it lined with aluminum foil and parchment paper to save on cleanup. Now we're gonna take our chicken breast and place it right on there and spread it out. We're only doing 3, so these are gonna spread out nice and evenly. Now we're gonna put these in the air fryer on 400 for about 20 minutes until they are fully cooked. It shouldn't take a long time because the air fryer really speeds things up. And once you do this little cross hatch, it really takes out the timing of cooking a chicken breast all the way through. So I'm gonna put this in the 400-degree air fryer for about 20 minutes, maybe a little longer. We'll see what happens after 20 minutes. Instead of taking out a pot to make our buffalo sauce, we're gonna do it right inside of my Chef Ange mug that we're gonna throw in the microwave. So let's cut up half this butter stick. We're gonna throw half a stick of butter inside the mug, and we're just gonna nuke this in the microwave for a little bit until it's melted. So now to our melted butter, we're gonna add the original buffalo sauce, Frank's Red Hot. There is no substitute for this. This is the only thing that you can really use. A little Worcestershire sauce, a pinch of salt, and some fresh ground black pepper. So we'll give this a mix. And there's your fast and easy buffalo sauce inside your Chef Ange mug. What do you think, huh? And on the other side, look what it says. Let's get cooking. My production assistant made this mug and gave it to me as a birthday gift. This is one of one, but let me know in the comments section if I should start selling these Chef Ange mugs on my website. So we got our ranch sauce done. We got our buffalo sauce done. The chicken is cooking. The last thing we got to do is cut up our veggies to go inside this wrap. First up, we're going to throw in some iceberg lettuce. I never buy this stuff in the bag. It's always got that pinkish, slimy tint to it. And iceberg lettuce is so cheap when you buy it like this. So we're just going to take a little bit and hack it off the outside. Now I'm just going to shred it by cutting it really thin. And I'll just turn it the other way and cut it down into a little bit of pieces. So now let's slice up some of these tomatoes. When you dice a tomato, especially for something like this, you gotta take out the inside. So we're gonna cut the tomato in half and then in quarters. Then we're gonna do our cut on the inside and roll to get the outside flesh and remove the gooey stuff on the inside. So one more time. Cut on the inside, roll, and cut it off on the stem of the tomatoes cut off. You know, when tomatoes go inside of a salad, I guess you can keep that in there. But if we're doing diced tomatoes inside of like a wrap like this, you just want the flesh of the tomato. The inside's just too gooey, and it's going to give you the wrong texture. So now we'll slice through and put a fine chop on everything. Slice, slice, and then rocker chopper all the way through. Next up is going to be our red onion. Always when you're cutting onions, make sure, especially as you're removing the skin, that you're keeping everything nice and neat and you're taking your time to throw out any of the skin. You don't want that caught up in the regular onions. We're going to take off that first layer, and now we're going to slice these nice and thin. One of my pet peeves is when people cut red onions inside of a salad or a sandwich and they put it really thick. You gotta cut it thin. If they're not cut thin, you're just rushing. See, a little bit of skin hanging out on the cutting board. And you can leave the avocado in or out, but I got a ripe avocado, and anytime I got one, I'm gonna use it. I've never even seen a ripe avocado in the supermarket, so I always buy them unripe and then have to let them ripen. So once they are ripe, we are going to use it, and inside of a buffalo chicken wrap is a great idea. To slice the avocado, we're gonna pull the skin off after we slice it in half. Wow, this one's gonna be really easy. This one's coming right off. I think that was the easiest I've ever peeled an avocado before. And now with a nice sharp knife, we're just gonna pull it on the cutting board and slice them into thin slices. Nice sliced avocado ready to go inside of our wrap. So our chicken's been in the air fryer for about 20 minutes. You can see we got this nice crust on the outside, and this chicken is fully cooked super fast. So I'm gonna let it cool down for just a minute or two before I shred it. Now that our chicken has had a chance to cool, I'm gonna throw this all inside of a bowl. And now with just my hands, I'm just gonna shred it. This is still really hot. This chicken is still way too hot for the regular gloves, so we are busting out the hot hands. I love using these silicone-based gloves because not only do they keep the heat out, they're nice and waterproof, so you can use them to mush things just like this. So you can see how easily the chicken mushes. If it was a little cooler, I might be able to do that with the regular gloves, but this is way too hot. And I'm doing it this way because I think it adds to like a lot of like uneven pieces, where you get like some big ones and some like really shredded ones. And I like those texture differences in the chicken when I'm making a wrap like this. Not only that, it's super fast. I don't really need to wash anything. These gloves, I can just wash just like I'm washing my hands. I'm just looking for any big pieces that are abnormally big. But you can see once the chicken's cooked, it just shreds so easily. You know, we have a no flavors left behind policy, so any juice that collected on top of the air fryer baking tray, we're gonna pour right inside the chicken. Cannot throw that flavor in the garbage. Now to our shredded chicken, we're gonna pour in our buffalo sauce. I don't want to overly sauce it, so I put in most of it and I reserved a little bit just in case I want to pour on some after. So this all looks fantastic. Let's start assembling our wrap. So I put this on top of the air fryer so it's a little warm and a little pliable. First thing we're gonna do, put on a little bit of our ranch dressing on the bottom. And before I put it on there, look how delicious this ranch dressing looks. It's got the perfect creaminess. It's got the perfect color. It smells fantastic. So let's put a spoonful of that on the bottom. Now let's start layering in some of our vegetables. So we'll start off with a few pieces of the avocado. A little bit of the red onion. Some tomatoes. And a lettuce. Now let's put on some of this chicken. I tend to overstuff my wrap, so I'm really trying not to put too much. I always like to pack in the protein. On top of the chicken, a little bit more of that ranch dressing. And some crumbled blue cheese. Okay, now here's the true test to see if I can wrap this without busting it. First, come in the sides, then right over the top while pinching in the sides. Squish, pinch, and roll. Squish, pinch, and roll. And once you get the fold on the bottom, let that settle. Now let's cut this open and see that cross section and see how we did. Now, how amazing does this buffalo chicken wrap look? I am super excited to try it. The cross section of this wrap looks unbelievable. So we got our chicken covered in the buffalo sauce. There's blue cheese, there's ranch in there. We got all our vegetables in there. I am super excited to try this. This is gonna be an epic bite. That is so good. It was so easy. It was so fast. And this is what the buffalo chicken wraps that you get at the gas station want to taste like, but they never will. When you make stuff at home, it is so good compared to what you can get out there. This is wonderful. I don't care if you're team blue cheese or team ranch. When you mix them together, nothing's better. I mean, this is so good, and it calms down the heat of the buffalo. I don't even think of buffalo as hot, because once you add the ranch and the blue cheese, it really calms everything down. And it's a wonderful flavor combination, just like peanut butter and jelly and marinara sauce and Parmesan cheese. It's just married in heaven. While I'm finishing the rest of this wrap, if you're into buffalo, check out my buffalo cauliflower recipe. That is another thing that is underappreciated with the buffalo dressing. I'll see you there. Thanks.